You are not imagining the silence. You are not being forgotten by the universe. In fact, the absolute stillness you feel right now is the most aggressive evidence of your elevation. I need you to listen to the sound of my voice and feel the frequency behind these words, because what is happening to you in the physical realm is a massive diversion from what is being constructed for you in the spiritual realm. Right now, you are feeling a strange, heavy pressure in the center of your chest. It's not anxiety, though the world would try to label it as such. It is a deep, resonant hum, a quickening of your internal clock. You've noticed that your sleep patterns have become erratic. You wake up between 3:00 a.m. and 4:00 a.m. with a startling clarity, your eyes wide open in the dark, sensing that the very air in your room is thick with anticipation. You feel as though you are waiting for a phone call that never comes, or a door to open that you haven't even found yet. This is the waiting room of the chosen, and it is the most difficult stage of the journey because it requires you to trust what you cannot see over what you are currently experiencing. Look at your life at this moment. To the outside observer, it might look like nothing is moving. You might feel stagnant. You might feel like your prayers are hitting a brass ceiling and bouncing back down to the floor. You've seen others, people with no integrity, people who operate in the shadows of the matrix, succeeding, laughing, and moving forward while you remain in this strange, quiet isolation. You felt the sting of being overlooked for the promotion, the ache of being the one left off the invitation list, and the crushing weight of a phone that no longer rings with the voices of those you once called friends. The silence is deafening. You walk through your house, and the quiet feels like a physical weight on your shoulders. You go to the store, and even in a crowd of hundreds, you feel like a ghost moving through a world of mannequins. You see their lips moving. You hear their superficial chatter about the weather and the latest distractions, but none of it touches your soul. You feel a profound sense of not belonging, a homesickness for a place you've never physically visited. This is the layer 1 symptom of your alignment, the total decoupling. The universe is systematically unplugging your energy from the common grid. This is why you feel tired even after 8 hours of sleep. This is why you feel a brain fog that makes simple tasks feel like trekking through waist-deep water. Your physical body is being recalibrated. Think of a high-end computer undergoing a massive software update. The screen goes black. The fans spin at maximum speed, and to anyone looking at the device, it appears broken or dead. But underneath that black screen, millions of lines of code are being rewritten to handle a power capacity the old system could never sustain. You are being rewritten. Every argument you've had lately that felt pointless was actually a frequency check. Every time you tried to reach out to someone from your past and felt a sudden, sharp intuition to pull back, that was your divine guard protecting the new code. You are being prepared for a level of influence that requires you to be unshakable. If the universe gave you the crown today, the weight of it would crush your neck because you are still looking for validation from the people who are destined to be your footstools. Stay calm. The quiet isn't a sign of absence. It is the sign of a massive, invisible construction project. The Father is moving the mountains in the dark so that when the sun rises, the landscape of your life will be unrecognizable. You are in the eye of the storm. While the winds of the matrix howl and the world falls into chaos, you are being held in a pocket of divine stillness. Do not mistake peace for a plateau. You are not stuck. You are being positioned. The silence you are experiencing is not empty. It is a vacuum being created by the divine to pull in a power you have never known. You must understand the spiritual mechanics of why this is happening now. You have reached a specific frequency where the old laws of the matrix no longer apply to you. In the spiritual realm, you have vibrated out of the reach of common causality. This is why things that work for everyone else, hustling, networking, pleading, and forced labor, no longer work for you. You have been moved into a realm of grace, and grace does not operate on the timeline of man. The spiritual reason for this sudden, heavy stillness is a process called divine recalibration. For years, you have been carrying the ancestral weight of 1,000 years of trauma. You were born into a bloodline that was defined by struggle, by the barely getting by mentality, and by a spiritual darkness that whispered you were never enough. When you made the conscious or unconscious decision to step into your power as a chosen one, you essentially declared war on that generational momentum. You stopped being a pawn and became a king or a queen in exile. Because of this, the universe has had to flatline your external life to perform surgery on your internal spirit. You cannot carry the new mantle while still wearing the rags of your old identity. The reason you feel so disconnected, the reason the phone has stopped ringing and the opportunities seem to have dried up, is because the Father is performing a frequency purge. If those old doors remained open, the toxic energy of your past would leak into your future and poison the harvest. You are being kept in a state of spiritual stasis so that your nervous system can handle the sheer voltage of the blessing that is currently being assembled in the unseen. Think of it as a massive ship entering a dry dock. For the ship to be repaired, for the hull to be reinforced and the engines to be upgraded, the water must be drained away. To the ship, it feels like a desert. It feels like it has lost its purpose because it is no longer in the ocean. It sits there, high and dry, exposed and vulnerable. But this is the only way the master architect can reach the parts of the ship that are usually underwater. Right now, the divine is reaching into the underwater parts of your soul, the hidden insecurities, the lingering need for people-pleasing, the cracks in your self-worth, and he is welding them shut with celestial fire. You are being invisibilized. This is a specific spiritual protection. When a general is planning a secret maneuver, he doesn't broadcast the coordinates. He enforces a radio silence. You are currently under a divine radio silence. The enemy cannot track a target they cannot see. And right now, your frequency is being masked. You are being hidden in the secret place of the Most High. The spiritual fog you feel is actually a smokescreen intended to confuse the watchers and the familiar spirits that have been assigned to sabotage your bloodline for generations. They are looking for the old you. They are looking for the version of you that gets triggered by a text message, the version that begs for a seat at the table, the version that doubts their own intuition. But they can't find that person anymore. You are being aligned quietly, because a loud alignment would draw too much spiritual warfare before you are strong enough to end it with a single word. This stillness is your training ground. You are learning to exist without the external noise of the world's validation. You are being taught that your power does not come from the doing, but from the being. The universe is not punishing you with boredom. It is rewarding you with the preparation for a global scale impact. You are being moved from the local grid to the universal grid. This shift requires a total disconnection from the lower astral planes where most of humanity resides. You are becoming a sovereign spiritual entity. Stay in the stillness. Don't try to kick the doors open. If the door is locked, it's because what's on the other side isn't ready for your new light yet, or you aren't yet tempered enough to carry it without breaking. The alignment is happening in the silence of the gears, moving perfectly into place, one tooth at a time. While you are sitting in this sacred silence, do not think for a moment that the enemy is at peace. In the spiritual dimensions, the matrix is in a state of absolute panic. The narcissists, the energy vampires, and the low vibrational watchers who have spent years feeding off your light are currently starving. They are pacing their mental cages because they can no longer find your signal. For years, they knew exactly how to press your buttons. They knew which guilt trip would work, which silent treatment would break you, and which gaslighting tactic would keep you spinning in circles. But now, as things align quietly, you have become a ghost to their systems. The people who once sought to control you are sensing a shift in the atmosphere, even if they can't put it into words. Have you noticed the sudden, desperate check-in texts from people you haven't spoken to in months? Have you felt the heavy, lingering stares from strangers or former associates who seem to be looking right through you, trying to find the old version they could manipulate? They are sensing your internal displacement. They realize that the cord they use to siphon your energy has been severed by a divine hand. To the Matrix, a chosen one who goes silent is the greatest threat of all, because a silent chosen one is a chosen one who is finally listening to God instead of the world. They are scared because your stillness is a mirror. When you stop reacting, they are forced to look at their own reflections, and they cannot handle the darkness they see there. Your refusal to engage in their dramas, your sudden lack of interest in their superficial competitions, and your withdrawal into your own sanctuary is being perceived as an act of war. They call you cold, arrogant, or crazy, but in reality, they are terrified of your sovereignty. They see that you are no longer a battery for their artificial reality. You are becoming a self-sustaining sun, and they know that once you fully ignite, they will never be able to stand in your presence again without being consumed by the truth of who you are. The enemy is not just the people around you. It is the very fabric of the archontic system that seeks to keep humanity in a state of perpetual fear and survival. This system is currently throwing everything it has at you to get you to break your silence. It will send you emergencies that aren't real. It will manufacture financial scares to get your heart rate up. It will try to use your own family members as mouthpieces to tell you that you are wasting your life or falling behind. Understand this. These are not accidents. These are frantic attempts to get you to lower your frequency back down to the level where they can reach you. But they are failing. Every day you stay calm. Every day you choose to trust the quiet over the chaos. You are winning a spiritual battle you didn't even know you were fighting. You are currently holding the high ground. From this perspective, you can see the traps they've set in the valley below. You can see the hooks hidden in the bait. The reason the universe has silenced your life is to give you the clarity to see these attacks for what they are. Pathetic attempts by a dying system to reclaim its most valuable asset. You have power over them now because you no longer need anything they have. You don't need their applause. You don't need their likes. And you certainly don't need their permission to exist. This independence is the ultimate weapon. As the alignment completes itself, you will find that the very people who tried to bury you will soon be the ones asking for your shadow to fall upon them for healing. The tables are not just turning. The entire room is being flipped. Your enemies are watching your silence, and they are realizing, with a cold dread, that the person they tried to destroy didn't just survive. They evolved into something the Matrix has no defense against. You must understand that this silence is the physical manifestation of a divine law that governs the entire cosmos, the law of the void before the creation. In the beginning, there was darkness and a profound, echoing stillness. It was only out of that absolute 0 point that the word was spoken and light was born. You are currently in your Genesis phase. The reason your life feels like it has been stripped down to the bare walls is because the universe is clearing the canvas for a masterpiece that is not of this world. This is the prophecy of the remnant, the few who are pulled out of the noise to become the architects of a new frequency. The theological truth of your situation is that you are undergoing a sanctification of the senses. To be sanctified means to be set apart. You cannot be set apart if you are still blending in. You cannot be a beacon if you are standing under a street lamp. The universe has specifically dimmed the lights around you so that your internal radiance becomes your only source of navigation. This is God's way of ensuring that when you finally step into your promised land, you will know, without a shadow of a doubt, that it was not your own striving, your own networking, or your own intellect that got you there. It was the hand of the divine moving in the quiet. We are witnessing the fulfillment of an ancient spiritual contract. You agreed to come here at this specific time to be a system buster. But to bust the system, you must first be immune to it. This alignment is your immunization. The reason things are moving quietly is that the weight of what is coming is too heavy for a loud, chaotic environment. Think of the way a high-precision instrument is calibrated. It must be done in a room with zero vibration, away from the magnetic interference of the city, in a temperature-controlled environment. You are that high-precision instrument. You are being fine-tuned to pick up the whispers of the Holy Spirit, the nudges of your ancestors, and the blueprints of your destiny. There is a celestial ledger that is currently being balanced. For every tear you cry in secret while being mocked by the world, there is a corresponding weight of glory being prepared. For every time you chose integrity over a shortcut, a stone is being laid in the foundation of your new empire. The Matrix operates on a system of debt and interest, but the divine operates on a system of harvest. You have been sowing in the dark for years. You have been planting seeds of kindness, prayer, and resilience, while the enemies were busy planting weeds of deceit. The quiet you feel is the moment just before the sprouts break through the soil. This is the truth. The universe is not trying to help you. The universe is obligated by spiritual law to respond to the frequency you have maintained under pressure. You have passed the test of the wilderness. You didn't curse the Creator when the water ran dry. You didn't crawl back to your captors when the road got lonely. Because you stayed at your post, the quiet realignment is now shifting the very tectonic plates of your reality. You are being moved into a position of unassailable authority. This means that when the silence finally breaks, and it will break with the force of a tidal wave, no man, no demon, and no government will be able to revoke the blessing that has been signed in your name. Stay in the frequency of knowing. Do not slip back into the frequency of wanting. Wanting implies lack. Knowing implies possession. Even as you sit there in your quiet room, with your quiet phone and your quiet bank account, you must walk with the posture of someone who has already seen the end of the movie. You must breathe with the rhythm of a victor. The alignment is not coming. It is already here. invisible but invincible, weaving itself into the very fabric of your tomorrow. You are the prophecy in motion. Now, take a deep breath. Feel the weight of these words settling into your marrow, because we are moving from understanding into activation. The silence is over. Not the silence of your surroundings, but the silence of your soul's uncertainty. From this moment forward, you are no longer waiting for the world to change. You are commanding your reality to align with the divine blueprint that has already been drawn. You are stepping out of the passenger seat of hoping and into the pilot's seat of decreeing. To seal this energy, you must practice the art of divine indifference. When the matrix tries to poke you, when the narcissist tries to bait you, or when your own mind tries to whisper that you are failing because it's too quiet, you must respond with a holy stillness. Do not explain yourself. Do not defend your peace. Do not lower your vibration to meet them in the mud. Your silence is not a lack of power. It is the ultimate expression of it. It is the silence of a lion who doesn't need to roar to prove he is the king. I want you to place your hand over your heart right now. Feel that beat. That is the drum of the Creator, and it is perfectly synchronized with the turning of the stars. Repeat these words in the sanctuary of your mind, or speak them aloud to the walls of your room, letting the vibration shake the very molecules of the air. I am a chosen, one of the Most High. I acknowledge the sacred silence of this season as my divine preparation. I renounce the spirit of anxiety and the pressure of the world's timeline. I declare that every mountain in my path is being moved in the dark, and every valley is being filled by the hand of grace. I am invisible to the enemy and wide open to the Father. My alignment is perfect. My harvest is certain. I am calm. I am protected, and I am already victorious. As you release those words, feel the static of the matrix falling away from your skin like dead scales. You are being armored in light. The alignment is finishing its work. The gears have clicked into place. You will notice in the coming days that coincidences will start to happen with frightening frequency. You will think of a solution, and the resource will appear. You will need a word, and the stranger will speak it. These are the pings of the new grid you are now plugged into. Stay grounded. Walk on the earth and feel your connection to the source. Drink water that has been blessed by your own intentions. Sleep with the knowledge that your angels are standing guard at the four corners of your bed, filtering out the noise of the astral plane. You are safe. You are loved. You are chosen. The quiet is about to break. But when it does, it won't be a crack. It will be a symphony. The world is about to see what the Father does with a person who stays calm while everything is aligning quietly. You have passed the final initiation. The door is not just opening. It is being removed from its hinges to make way for your arrival. Claim this message. Type, "I am aligned" in the comments to anchor this frequency into the physical realm. Subscribe to this sanctuary if you feel the resonance of the chosen, and share this with another soul who is wandering in the quiet, wondering if they've been forgotten. You are the light of the world. Now, go forth and shine in the stillness.